We get sick. You guys can all
We're radioactive now.
And then we get sick, yeah. So this Chernobyl happened in, do you guys know where this happened?
Germany?
Well, no, this is affecting Germany, which is near somewhere that it actually happened. Taylor?
Ukraine.
The Ukraine, good. So we talked about, what did we talk about on Friday? Well, what about the environment?
Oh,
What did we talk about, Jared?
United Kingdom's air pollution.
The air pollution. So now we're going to talk about the Chernobyl and all the nuclear effects it has on the Ukraine. So where is Chernobyl? Do you want to hit the lights? That'll work. It's so good. Alright, so where is Chernobyl? We want to try to figure out how this explosion has affected so many countries around. So where is Chernobyl? Chernobyl Nuclear Power Station is located in north-central Ukraine. So here's Ukraine. You guys should all know where it is in Europe. And it is north, very north. It's near the border. It's kind of near this lake-type area. It's next to the city of Pripyat and just south of Ukraine's border. And so the country right above this is Belarus. Ukraine's capital is located 130 miles south of Chernobyl. So the capital is really close to where this happened. There we go, there's an arrow for you. Alright, so what happened? What in the world is Chernobyl? So workers at Chernobyl were doing an experiment to test a new safety feature in the power plant. And one of the reactors, reactor number 4 at the plant, became unstable and exploded, releasing tons of radioactive material into the atmosphere, land, and water. And so these were the photos taken before. It happened in 1986. And these were the pictures taken before. Here's like the town, and that's reactor number 4. So workers were doing an experiment. So here are a couple pictures of all of it before. The top picture, what do you guys think this is? What do you guys think this is? Abby?
A factory?
Yeah, what factory? Do you think this is where it happened, right? This is the scene of the crime. And this is inside the power plant. This looks really serious, doesn't it? All the buttons. You don't want to mess in there. You don't want to be poking buttons in there. And this looks like just another area that they do experiments. So it looks pretty, big in structure. Let's see. And then this is, I guess, they had a camera inside the factory or the reactor, and when it exploded, this is what it looks like. Alright, so this is, you guys remember the picture that I just showed you, the big factory? The top left picture, and then that's it after. So after it exploded, that's what happened. It's 3 days after the accident. I'm going to read to you guys a quick little detail of how it happened, and you guys just envision it in your mind because it tells you some details that you can picture it happening. Alright, so years later, the full story was finally released of what happened in Chernobyl. Alright, workers at the plant were performing tests on the system. So just imagine those workers in the little room doing all those buttons. They were doing tests. They shut off the emergency safety system and the cooling system against established regulations in preparation for the test. Do you guys think that the safety systems and cooling systems are pretty important?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they turned them off. So we can imagine it's dangerous now. Even when warning signs of dangerous overheating began to appear, the workers failed to stop the test. Gases built up, and at 1:30 a.m., so in the middle of the night, the first explosion rocked the reactor. So reactor number 4, at 1:30 a.m., boom, it exploded. A total of 3 explosions eventually blew the 1,000-ton steel top right off the top of the reactor. So you can see at the top, I guess, did you guys see all those kind of like smokestack looking things on the area? It just blew the lid right off. It was 1,000 tons weight-wise, and it just blew it off. A huge fireball erupted into the sky. Flames shot 1,000 feet into the air for 2 days. So for 2 whole days, this was happening. The entire reactor began to melt down. Radioactive material was thrown into the air like fireworks. Although firefighting was futile, the country we're talking about, Pripyat, 40,000 people were not evacuated until 36 hours after the explosion. So that's a long time to wait to get people out, isn't it? How long is 36 hours? Raise your hand. Chris?
A day and 2 hours.
A
Actually,
day?
a day and 12 hours.
Yeah, so it's a whole day and a half, right? So they waited a whole day and a half to even get anyone out of that area. And it's dangerous to be around. So potentially lethal rain fell as the fires continued for 8 days. Dikes were built at the river to contain damage from contained water runoff, and the people of the capital were warned to stay indoors as a radioactive cloud headed their way. So can you guys imagine after this exploded, they were just warning people to stay inside because a dangerous cloud was headed their way? So what do you guys think would happen when all of these chemicals get shot into the sky? What happens to the clouds?
Usually how rain evaporates into the sky probably did that and form a huge cloud, so if it rained it would be very dangerous.
Yeah, so imagine, how the clouds right now, they take the water up into the air, or up into the cloud, and it forms the cloud, and then the cloud travels, and then it rains somewhere. That's just how the water cycle works. But imagine this stuff gets put into the air and travels. We'll see how far it went. So, if we use our little key, we know what all these mean. So there's Chernobyl, right here. And what's this? Just tell me. What's all of this?
Europe.
It says Europe. They didn't make it public. They didn't tell anyone that this happened. They just waited and waited. Why do you guys think they waited? Why would the government wait to tell anyone that this is going on? Savannah.
Because if they didn't want to cause a bunch of panic for them, say it never got there, and all these people were terrified, and they were places were closing down, and people couldn't get things, and it stayed like this for a long time. Things would just be ruins.
Chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if that happened here. What if something happened here and then the government was like, we gotta get out of here, there's crazy chemical in the air, we're all gonna just die. So we would all be panicking, right? We'd be flocking to the airport in Atlanta to leave. So this is what they tried to avoid. The Soviet Union tried to be like, all right, we can maybe control this. What was the first thing we talked about? Yeah.
Radioactive. Oh, smog. Yeah, sorry. I got
Smog.
smog. And
Where was this at? Where was the smog at?
UK.
Yes, the United Kingdom. So remember Friday we talked about the United Kingdom, and since I wasn't here, guys, remember you guys have to help me out. I missed it, so fill me in. What is the main problem in the UK? She said smog. What is the first? Where does smog derive? What's the main idea that we talked about? Emily. Air pollution. We talked about air pollution. And then we talked about smog. Alright, so tell me about smog. Why is smog a problem? Give me a general gist of it. Taylor.
Well, smoke and fog mixed together, and it was so bad that people couldn't see. There was a lot of car wrecks.
So the smoke, what causes smog? It was in that article we read. It's smoke, and what else? Zora. The coal, like car exhaust and coal. Let's just do smoke. Oh yeah, you guys are right. It's fog mixed with smoke. And what causes it? When something in the sky hits this, it creates it. Kylie. What's in the sky that shines down on us? Give it to me. Sun. So when the sun mixes with fog and smoke, it creates smog. Sun and fog. All right. So what was the UK? What were they doing to fix this problem? Tell me. What haven't called on yet? Yeah.
Like they were
Stand
using,
up.
they were using less public transportation, more.
No, he's right. They were using less traveling. What else?
Okay.
Cleaner coal. What were big companies doing to monitor this? Yeah.
I actually have a question.
Okay.
Doesn't smog also have smoke?
Yes. Yeah. It's just all the chemicals from like cars and factories, all the smoke and stuff. Yeah, you're right. All right. What else? They were less traveling. They didn't use cars as much to not have the car exhaust come out and pollute the air. Cleaner coal, and there's something else I'm looking for. Yeah.
A lot of people are taking the buses.
Yeah. So less cars driving in the back. Yeah.
They're using more electricity.
More electricity. Let's see. I feel like there was one more. What were they doing, actively doing, when the factories were working away? What was like the government doing to monitor that? Abby, did you have your hand up?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't they have no smoke zones also?
No smoke zones, and also I'm looking for, they were like checking, they were monitoring and checking the air control from the companies. Let's see. All right, so let's move on. What was the next one? What was the other thing we talked about yesterday? What did we talk about yesterday? Chris.
The Chernobyl nuclear disaster
Chernobyl where?
in Ukraine.
Good. What was the problem with Chernobyl? Why was this a big problem? Savannah, why was Chernobyl a problem? Remember we talked about it yesterday.
Chernobyl was a problem because, like, whenever there was a nuclear power plant that exploded and all of that radiation
Yeah.
and all the radiation that went into the ground and into the air and killed a lot of people, and then the wars and
Yeah.
30 years later it's still here.
Yeah, so it's still affecting us, right? So we talked about how it went from this factory, it exploded and went into the air. And what did it create when the clouds traveled? What fell down?
Acid rain.
Acid rain. All right, and what was the government trying to do? Remember those guys in the masks? What were the guys in the masks called? You guys remember? Savannah? Or Obsidian, sorry. Starts with an L.
Liquidator.
Liquidators. So they had liquidators go, and what did the liquidators do? Lexi.
I think they tried to help clean up.
Yeah. They cleaned up. They were sent in to clean up that big old mess, right? What else? What was that thing they were making what else did they make, Kylie?
That thing that went over
Mm-hmm.
the building.
Yeah, the big cement dome thing, right? So that's how they're trying to control this problem